Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. Today I am back in my MakseLife Flagship planner. I already have set my annual goals for the year, so if you haven't seen that video yet, definitely check it out. It's actually a two-part series, but there's still a few pages left in this planner that I do want to get set up for the year, and as well, I want to take a look at the quarterly goals toolkit before I jump into January. Plus, get some things set up in my Folio. So this is going to be kind of like my planner setup / quarterly breakdown video. So I'm really excited. There's lots of new fun MakseLife stuff to play with. I've got like kind of a basic idea of what I want to get going with, but nothing too firm yet. But I am just feeling, right now I'm feeling so good. I just uploaded my annual goals video. We just got back from vacation and my mother-in-law has my kids for the day and I'm just kind of enjoying this very peaceful day. So I really just want to like write something down. So that's what we're gonna do. So just to jump in and let's take a look at what I've already got in my planner. So I did the life compass assessment in part 1 of my goal setting series, including the work on the actual assessment page and drawing it in there to get started for the year. I also set my intentions page here with my word of the year and then what it means to me. And then I also have that copied over into this cardstock one that came with the annual goals toolkit. Then I did leave this page blank. So we're probably gonna circle back to this at some point today. I'm just trying to map out what I think will work on this page versus the other blank pages in here. So you get a 2-page blank vision board and that's a lot of space. And then you also have this idea garden page here in the back. Set up both of these pages today. That's not where I'm gonna get started because I haven't brainstormed enough of that, but just really quick to show you my goals. And again, I do have 2 whole videos on setting up my goals for the year. So definitely check that out. So these 2 things that I also set up, the 2 card stocks, these came with the annual goals toolkit. These toolkits were a new product this year with MakseLife launch, and my MakseLife review crew order was kindly gifted to me this year from the Moxie team. So thank you so much to them. If you haven't seen everything in that, you can check out my review crew video if you want to see everything that I got. But I did have the annuals and the quarterly goals toolkit, and we've done almost all of the I've done almost all of the pages in the annual goals toolkit at this point. I have my personal values from part 1, all of the brainstorming sheets that I use. These ended up pretty much being like rough drafts of my goals and like themes for my goals. So it was really helpful for working through that. You could of course just do this on scratch paper if you don't have the toolkit. So I will save those though. This I kind of want to store with these because they're things I kind of want to keep with my planner. I'm going to keep this stuff together, the kind of goals quick tips versus the pages I worked on myself. And then the 2 pieces of the annual goals toolkit that I haven't done yet are the AM PM routine and then this, which is a fold out perpetual calendar. So I will be using these 2 pages and I will be getting these all filled out. This one is gonna definitely be part of this video. This one may actually end up being like on my January goals to do some more routine brainstorming and to actually fill this out. So I'm gonna put that off to the side. I just don't think that that is gonna end up getting set up today, but I do want to think more about that and I definitely want that to get filled out. I'm really excited for that one. I love the idea of having like the ideal routine and the minimum routine. So then opening up the quarterly assessment, I've got like the checklist that comes with on the front. This is the My Ideal Week. This is the one that I'm super, super excited to work on. And I think this might actually even be where we start. And that one, this one folds out the same way as that perpetual calendar, although not quite as small. And it just gives you time to map out your week. And I love that this is in the quarterly assessment, the quarterly kit, and not the annual one, because your ideal week is not the same throughout the year. And like what you have scheduled is not the same throughout the year. So we're going into January now. We're at the end of winter break and the kids are starting a new slate of after school activities in the new year and all of that good stuff. So having this to kind of map out the schedule, I'm really, really excited to dive into this. So I actually do think that that is where we're going to start today in just a minute. The next page that you have here is the quarterly intentions, and I will be doing this in subsequent quarters, but because I just did all of my annual intentions and 2024 reflections and all of that, I feel like I've spent so much time with this information already that I just really do not want to fill this out. So I'm going to put this off to the side and save that for another quarter. Likewise, the yes and no list from this, I just feel like I've already got that framework in my mind from the annual goals, and it's not going to change for for the quarter. So I'm gonna put those off to the side and I'll use them at the beginning of Q2. We have a seasonal bucket list here. This is just kind of like blank dot grid. So I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile over with the AM PM routine. Then we've got quarterly goals, which are not going to be very fancy looking like my annual goals are, but I will be breaking down some focus areas for each quarter. So I'm going to put that. I have like piles on my desk. So I'm just piling up the things that I want to work on in this video. Then the rest of these pages are trackers, recaps, and wins, highlights, gratitudes for each month. So I actually have these stored not as they came, but as like sets. So this will be my set for January. So I've got a January tracker if I want to use it, and then the monthly recap, wins and highlights, and gratitude sheet. And so that is all for January. And then likewise, I've got one for February and then one for March. And then at the end of that, we've got a set of quarterly reflections here. So this is all stuff that I plan to fill out, but it's not part of the base setup. It's not of the quarterly setup. It's the things that I'm going to use throughout the quarter and at the end of the quarter. I plan to buy another quarterly toolkit before the quarter is up. That way I have the planning pages to do another set of quarterly goals for Q2 and another ideal week sketch for Q2. Now, I think what I'm going to do is start with this ideal week. This is always like a spread that I absolutely love. I just think it's just a really good time. The Day Designer Planner always has one of these like ideal weeks in the beginning of their planner, and I usually fill it out in there. I used to use the Erin Cadron Family Organizer. That was one of my main planners in 2023. That was like my favorite planner from 2023. And like that planner has a section that's not as specific as this with the times, but it has like a section for things that happen, you know, every week on the same day. And I have a lot of things in my life that are always, you know, at the same time on the same day, etc. So I think that a spread like this is really useful. You can just pull it out if you're ever struggling to get started with a planner spread, or if you want to just kind of map out your week. I also think the blank spaces that you leave on here are really important, especially for me. I work freelance, which means I'm scheduling in my own work hours and stuff like that. So being able to see the blank spaces on here, the spaces where I don't have something booked in, is really, really helpful. So what I'm actually going to do with this in terms of ideal week, first I'm writing Q1. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in all of the things that are like the firm schedule things. So these are the things like the kids' activities, car line and bus times, all of appointments, regular appointments, anything like that that is like regularly scheduled. It's on the calendar. It's not negotiable. That stuff is all going to go in first. And I'm going to use this 1.0, like the bolder pen, to put that in, along with some color coding that I'll do. And then after that, we're gonna look at the empty blocks of time and map out some of the like more, I want to be doing this things into there, but also leaving in plenty of free space, you know, to kind of work that in. That'll be the ideal week component. So these are hour-long blocks, and there is a little line divider in the morning. I usually wake up, except for on Mondays. The other days of the week, so Tuesday through Friday, I wake up usually closer to 6:30. My alarm is like set for 6:30. I'm usually awake before that, but laying in bed. And my husband, he usually does breakfast for the kids, so I just kind of have a tendency to lay in bed. Sometimes fine, sometimes I wish I didn't do that so much, but I want to be kind of out of bed by 6:30. On Mondays, I have a regular work thing for my business that I do every Monday morning. So I actually usually wake up right at 6 to work on that. So I like don't go downstairs. My husband's in a good mood. He brings me a cup of coffee at my desk. It's lovely, and I work on that. Otherwise, I just have the coffee when I go downstairs. On the weekends, we still have kids. They're still up super early. It's a little bit less flexible. It's a little bit more flexible, but we're still awake pretty early. I just kind of shifted that down a teensy bit on the weekend to make it clear that it's like a little bit more flexible on the weekend. Then I'm gonna shift over so that like I'm just not bunching up the writing on top of everything. That's just like a little trick if you're working on a weekly spread and you want to do that, like you don't have to if you're going to connect things across the days, you don't have to put everything on the Monday, right? You can draw those lines going backwards and forwards. That way it just doesn't look so busy. So from 7 to 7:30, I usually do the morning like kids and lunch routine. So getting the kids all ready for school and getting the lunches all packed up and stuff. And at this point, I come down and my husband goes upstairs to get ready, and I take over on the kids stuff and get them ready for school. Husband just drives my youngest to preschool, and they leave around 7:30. So I want everything to be all packed up and ready when he comes like back downstairs dressed for the day. The big kids leave for the bus. And then in that time in between there, we usually take care of any last minute homework, reading, organization, hanging out, all just that kind of stuff that we need to. I check in with my planners, get all the essentials for all of the kids done, and then we handle the big kids stuff kind of after they leave. And sometimes the kids actually help me out with like all my planning stuff and in the office, or sometimes if I'm going to be filming with the kids, we do that in the mornings there as well. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to skip over the midsection, which is the my day away from the kids, and I will come back to that because I want to work on the afternoon schedule, which is more firm than my daily schedule. I leave to pick up the kids from school about around 3:30. On Mondays, we have 3 kids. My oldest, okay, I'm just gonna put them in there. So my youngest is gonna go to art class. My oldest is gonna go to theater. And I actually don't pick her up from, I don't have to drive her to or from theater. So theater is the best. My husband picks her up at a friend drives her to theater, and my husband picks her up and takes her and her friend home. So that's that. And then I will send my son home on the bus. And then together, we will do the preschool pickup. And then we usually end up having dinner a little bit later on Mondays because my oldest doesn't get home. I think I got a little bit confused about the timing here. So that would only be 5:30. So actually, my line there needs to go. So we have dinner closer to like 6:37 on Mondays because my oldest daughter, doesn't get home until like 6:30. On Tuesdays, this is my really fun one. So I drop my son. I pick my son up at preschool, which before this spring was both, and I take him to golf. Then I go and pick up my little one at preschool, which golf is like on the way from elementary school to preschool, so it's very convenient. So I drop my son off for his golf lesson and then pick up my daughter at preschool, swing back for him and pick him up at golf. Now, our elementary school just started this like after school clubs program, and my oldest daughter is signed up for the club on Tuesday. So she will stay at school instead of coming with me to do the golf drop. And then from golf, instead of going home, we'll run and do the pickup of my oldest one from her school club. Basically, I just have to drive all over the universe on Tuesday, and the kids are all kind of doing their own thing. Then on Wednesday, the kids, oldest 2, have tennis, and I just drop them at tennis, and my husband picks them up. On Thursday, Thursday is in flux activity-wise. My son is signed up for the after-school club. It's really nice that they're offering these clubs. It's not free, but they're not like super expensive either. And they're located at the school, which like my daughter, my youngest art class, it's so easy because then I don't have to drive them to from somewhere. I can just pick them up slightly later. So anyway, so he has that, but the other kids still get just regular picked up from school. And we told him, we're like, you don't have to do a Friday club. Like, I don't need you to have an activity on Friday, but he was just really excited. One of his friends from class is doing it. That is our fun and crazy pickup schedule. And then, like I said, we usually have dinner like a little bit earlier or later on some of these days, just depending on the activity, but we target having dinner between, you know, kind of between 6 and 6:30. Try and keep it closer to the 6 start time, except for that on days where activities kind of prohibit that. And then I am just like kind of cooking and we're doing whatever. And we've been trying to not let them watch like a ton of TV during this time as well. And then we've got the kids' bedtime routine, reading and teeth brushing and pajamas, all that good stuff. They go to bed. We have free time, which is mostly spent reading or watching television. And then we have my bedtime routine, which this thing ends at the perfect time because this thing ends at 10 and it starts at 5. Bedtime. That is what I've been trying to do and not been super respectful of that. Sunday, my oldest 2 go to religious school. My husband usually takes the 4-year-old baby out with him and does like groceries and errands. And I do work on that thing that's going to publish Monday morning. I mostly write it on Sunday while the kids are at Hebrew school, and then we all come back together and have lunch. Saturdays are our like fully flexible day. We don't have any activities booked on Saturdays. We like to leave that open for adventure and fun. About to just go with the MakseLife colors, but I feel like I actually might kind of need a different color pen for each of the kids just to make things a little bit easier. So I'm going to use the purple Moxie marker, which is the marker that I was trying to use, you know, for family stuff. And I will make that for my big kid. And then I can use the tan for my little one. I feel like lately this pen has been so much more smeary than it usually is. The like 1.01's always a little tricky, but the only other thing that I forgot on here is Thursday is cleaning people day. I never do this, but I'm gonna write in a different color pen. Do not worry, I have zebra Sarasa clips in every single color. So this will tell me that these are firmly scheduled, less firmly scheduled. So I usually like to do work on Mondays. I have like a regular thing that I do at work, and I usually will try and do that and finish up as much as possible for lunch. Then we can have, I'm trying to like roughly stick to the MakseLife colors, but using pens, so. Basically work, lunch, hang out for a little bit, and then admin planner routine. That's usually a good time for me to work on planner stuff and get set up for the rest of the week. If I have more work, we can do that then. Then on Tuesdays, a bit more work and admin and chores. And then there's a workout class that I really like on, it's on Tuesdays or Wednesdays at 1:30. I can't do it back to back. I would just die. It's Pilates on the reformer, but to do that one of these 2 days, which I'm gonna put on Tuesday, and then we can just have like a little more relaxing time before my insane pickup. Okay. Then Wednesday I'm gonna leave more blank, and then Thursday we've got admin, chores, and maybe probably some planning too. And again, if I've got a big work project, this obviously all shifts, but fucking ideal week. So then I'm gonna leave Friday kind of blank as well. And this is, I can flex in like work time for projects and have more like set work days. And then I think on Friday, I wanna leave myself like a bit of, just have that be like a fun Friday morning. Then we can have lunch. And then I would have the afternoon to do work on whatever work projects I'm gonna do, etc. That is kind of filled in day looks like. We actually tend to have dinner like a little bit earlier on the weekends rather than later, just because there's like no, you know, activities. Also got a few other things that I forgot. Thursday, takeout night. I feel like that took me way longer than I was expecting, so hopefully I can cut that together in some kind of video. But anyway, that is my ideal week. All right, so now that one is done, at least for now, and we can always adjust as needed. So next up we have this perpetual calendar, and this is gonna be just like a very base setup. We're gonna just put on a couple of things I'm gonna do off the cuff, and then a couple of things like the end of the school year and that kind of stuff. I understand that this is a perpetual calendar, but I actually am not gonna use it as a perpetual calendar because I don't actually, there's too many things. Like Thanksgiving is not always on the same day. It's always at the same time of year, but I feel like if I'm looking at my year at a glance, I need to know when Thanksgiving is. So we're gonna put in a couple of things, like some birthdays. This is our birthday season right here. Then we've got a couple other birthdays that I need to put in. And like, I'm not gonna like, if I book a doctor's appointment, I'm not gonna put it in here. That's not what this is for. This is like year at a glance. What are we supposed to be looking at here? Like what's coming up, what's on the docket, that kind of stuff, like big picture. My kids have like a longer break for President's Day. We're actually trying to go away then, so that's, I feel like, important to put on there. We have not booked anything, but trying for a last minute trip there. Elementary school, I mean the whole school district, it's like so many half days. I feel like preschool like never does half days. It's just you have school or you don't. All right, so apparently for some reason preschool lets out like 3 days before public school this year, which they usually try and stick to like as much as the same schedule as like holidays can allow. I have not wrote down when the first day of campus. Oh wow, there's like a really short window. I love the 4th being on a Friday, makes the camp schedules very easy. So I haven't set up like school calendar for next year or anything like that. So there's like a lot more that needs to be filled out on here, which I might do right now, but I'm working on what's like currently already on my Google Calendar. So I don't have like the exact school day, although I would imagine that the first day of school is September 2nd because September 1st is Labor Day. It's very early this year. Okay, so I just went back to my calendar and to like the school's website and got the last couple of things. I totally forgot that once I get into the fall again this year, I only need one school calendar because all 3 of my kids will actually be at the same school for the first and last time ever. So I don't have to worry about like any weird preschool schedules or anything like that because my youngest one will be in kindergarten at that point. The last thing that I'm gonna do with this, I may end up like adding more to this if we like book vacations or if I realize I forgot any missing days of school or half days or whatever. But what I really want to do is just also mark the weekends. So how do I want to do this? So I think I'll just go back to the beginning of the year and I'm just gonna gray dot the weekends. So that's the perpetual calendar and the ideal week schedule. So next up, I'm gonna jump back into the planner. All right, so it's actually now nighttime and the kids just went to bed and I had an idea about this. So this is the ideas garden page and I've seen like people using this as, well, what it says right on it is use this space to plant any ideas you have for future goals or projects. So I wanna set this up as a place like, you know, if you're just thinking about something and you're like, oh, that's a really good idea for something to work on, not right now, but in the future. So just like a space to have that. And then completely not goal related, but just like on the planner, I saw a picture of someone coloring in a puzzle, like drawing puzzle pieces and coloring them in. And I was like, that looks really cool. That would make a really neat idea garden. So we're gonna attempt to draw a puzzle. I'm gonna sketch with pencils, and then the individual puzzle pieces can be the ideas basically. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just sketching this out with a pencil. I just sketched all around the box of the dot grid. This page does have dot grid on it. And now I'm just dividing up the space, which I've not done evenly at all. Was very even with like the counting out the dots, but I was not even with making that all fit on the page. So I think they all need to be one longer. All right, so this last one is gonna be like a little bit smaller ideas on the bottom or shorter. This actually gives you like a pretty decent amount of space. I will use the ruler when I'm drawing like the lines darker, but so, and then the idea would be I'll use the MakseLife color coding to color in whatever the idea is. So I'm gonna outline everything now. I actually think I probably use a click art marker. This backs up onto the vision board, so that should be fine. Or another like really bold tip pen, but something that once it's dry, if I color over it, is definitely not going to cause any issues. So the idea is once you come up with the idea, you color it in the life area, color coding, and then you can write the idea on top of it. So that is my idea for this. I'm going to finish sketching this out and inking it, and I'll be right back. All right, so that is my little idea puzzle for my idea garden. And then I'm gonna put a little washi. This washi is from MakseLife as well. I just decided to stick with like all Moxie stuff for this base planner setup. This is one of the florals, I think from the 2024 release. So we're gonna save that. I don't have any ideas right now because I put my ideas in my goals, but as I think of things, they will go in there. So then the last thing I have is this page here. And I actually kind of want to turn this into a pocket. That's what I'm kind of thinking. This page is not very thick. I'm just thinking. This planner is so thick. It is so thick. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. I am going to take out these stickers, first of all. Oops. I always take the stickers out of the back of my planner. And I am also going to cut out the folder. I need my actual scissors for that, which are over by the wrapping paper. Now, is it nice to have a folder in your planner? Yes, but I am planning to keep this in the Folio, and my planner doesn't leave my office, except for like on very, very rare occasions, so I don't feel bad, you know, taking the folder out. And it really, like, the folder is so thick, and I hardly ever stick things in it, so I'm gonna cut it out. I honestly may end up taking like this whole extras section out of here if I need to, but it's just a thick planner anyways. Thank goodness they upsized the coil. Okay, we've got supplies. So did you know that I used to be like a mega traveler's notebook and rings person? I got lots of stuff. All right, and what I want to actually be able to stick in here is my quarterly goals. So I'm trying to see what size I would need there. Okay, so like it would fit in here, but it would be more protected with this. Some papers as well. I think I might go with this patterned one. I was gonna like do a thing with some words, but I'm not going to. So what I want to do is make space. Oh my gosh, if you go back like to my really, really, really old videos, you can find some TN setup videos where I'm like, you know, cutting paper on the screen and all of that good stuff. Which it's been a really long time since I've done that. Yeah, this worked for a second. All right, so pull out the ruler. Planner itself is like 7 by 9, so if I start at 9 inches and 7, that should give me a starting point, and then I will trim this down from there. that is probably okay for height, but it needs to be just a drop thinner. And I'm gonna cover up the text because this is gonna be a pocket page to stick my quarterly goals and other things. So that is actually like 6.5 under by just under 9. And then I'm gonna glue this. Run a little washi on the edge there from MakseLife. And then this is adhesive as well. And we're just gonna try and line this up like that. So now we've got a side pocket there, the purpose of which is to put our goals. And then, okay, I want to put this sticker on the bottom, I think. I don't know if I can bring myself, like they don't really make these stickers anymore, and I don't know if I can bring myself to like open it. I might just, I don't think I can bring myself to like peel that sticker, which is fine. We are attached to the things we are attached to. I will clip it on. Moving that pocket in. That's like a perfect place to stick the quarterly goals too, because then it'll have the annual goals like right next to it, and that way I can reference it if I want, and just pull it right out and have that in my actual planner. And I'll just keep one quarter there at a time, so then next corner I would pull that out. And then I also have all of the other like worksheets that I've been doing, but I think that those are maybe not gonna go in my planner. I think that those are gonna go in the Folio somewhere. We will build ourselves like a little pocket folder to go in the Folio and stick those things, because the Folio is really big and you can fit a lot in here. All right, right this second, I'm gonna clear off my desk and then decide what to do next. All right, so it's a few days later now, holiday family stuff, but I'm ready to work on this a bit more. I want to circle back to my quarterly goals still, but I was looking at stuff to do the Folio setup and the folder, and then I just remembered, I was like, hey, you have literally every traveler's notebook setup that you've ever done, every ring setup that you've ever done saved in like these things. And I used to change my decorations out like every quarter or so, and I was in that for a really long time, so I have a lot of setups. Most of the stuff is not sized this large, but my old memory planners are that big. They are rings though, so I was just kind of piecing together some of the things that I have, and we'll see what I can kind of come up with here. Now this paper is actually a printable paper that is from an old shop called Jasenia Printables, if you've been around a while and you remember the Planner Sophisticate, but it's like one of my all-time favorite designs. So I have a ton of this stuff. This is actually what I want to make as like a folder to slide in there. I don't think I have a folder that's big enough, but we'll see. And then I have like a bunch of Hello Petite paper, Scribble Prints Co., and other Planner Sophisticate stuff that we can kind of use to put together. A lot of it is in, you know, kind of these pinks, gold foil, Planner Girl vibes. I was actually thinking that looks so cute, but it's going to be upside down because I don't want the circle showing. I might have another one though with the bows on the edge. I do have this paper from Hello Petite Paper, which is big. One of my favorite die cuts ever this is actually from the Peach Pump. I don't know how I remember all of this either. Okay, a lot of this is from like this really cute coffee set from Hello Petite Paper that was a couple years ago. And I think I may actually just take some of this out. This is like my 2022 memory planner that I just never took the setup out of because I wasn't, you know, using anything else. Kind of love that. All right, so we can kind of just play around with it here. I said before I wasn't going to do a full-on decorative setup, but I kind of think I am. A full washi card, like, stop, that's so cute. And I always just like kind of tape things together, clip them on. I don't know, it's been a while since I've done a setup. So I don't, like I said, I don't think I have a folder that's that big, but I do have like lots of other pieces. So when I get the folder, I can just kind of slide it in like that. Or I could potentially even, I'm not sure. I want those papers to be pretty well protected. I don't know that we need the rounded edge in here. That was more the vibe on the cloud planner, which that's what this is if you don't know. It's an R style cloud. Just realized I needed to be way more zoomed out. We got a jumbo. So many coffee die cuts. Ooh, that's like just too tall. Oh, there we go. Just like a hint of it. Have to find a gold one, yeah, so I'm just gonna clip that on. And these are from Amazon, actually. These are like kind of my all-time favorite teardrop paper clips. Again, I can't believe how much I used to do these setups all the time, and I'm like all these little things, I cut all of this stuff and I just save it all. Thing that I've always done is I do laminate stuff together, but especially on stuff that I feel like I would reuse on multiple setups, which is not really a thing anymore, but I will just attach it with like a little bit of washi. Again, I don't really take my planners everywhere, so it doesn't have to be like so secure. And that way, if I, you know, want a different design, it's not permanent, and I can pull the stickers off and put them on, you know, whatever the next setup is. Especially on the pieces that are things that I've like bought, like these Clever Girl Crafts jumbos, which she doesn't, I don't even know if she makes them anymore, but even when she did, they like weren't always in the shop. And if you've ever wondered, like when I have all those Simply Gilded seal stickers, like what I'm doing with them all, this is pretty much, I love the seal stickers because of this. Better with the whipped cream and the pink cup. There you go, kind of like that. To echo the florals there. So then I just have, I call this like, it's like kid washi or spare washi. It's like not washi that I would use to decorate a planner, but it's just washi that I have that if we use for kid projects or other craft projects, and I also just kind of use it as glue. So I think that is good for a pocket. So what I do still want is some kind of pocket situation to go in there. I just don't know if I want to like make a full-on make a folder pocket, or if I want to use something that I already have. Okay, so I may eventually make another pocket folder for in there, but for right now I just pulled out one of the ring dividers. So this does have holes for rings, but you're not going to be able to see it when it's in there. And what I'm going to do is actually so this is like a pocket divider, and then the paper is just slid in there. So I'm going to leave. Oh, that's actually perfect. Okay, so I have two papers taped in there. I was just thinking how I wanted them in between something. So we're gonna kind of use this as a sneaky folder. I'm gonna take the tape apart. So I have my mission statement, although actually do I want it so that you can see the mission statement on the back here? It's not like aesthetically exactly what I'm going for, but it does. Either way, the paper ones with the perpetual calendar and the ideal week and stuff, I am going to actually slide that in between the extra two sheets just for a little bit of extra protection. So these, it's inside a plastic, and then there's two cardstocks in here. So that's like pretty well protected in there. And this dot paper is just from Michaels, and then all the rest of that stuff is from Hello Petite Paper. I think I will put this right on the back side here so that I can see it if I want to. All right, but so then this can sneaky sit in there like so. The point is not even to see it, it's just so that it's in there and nice and protected, and then when I want my extra pages, I can just pull that out. So that is the setup. Very decorative, not very functional, but that's cool and beautiful. I'm going to keep the extra pieces that I want just around, just in case I decide I want to add anything to it. Oh, actually, I just found this pocket, so I can put all the die cuts and stuff in there. Right, so that goes like that. So that when you open it, got the planner and the other stuff. And I do have several other covers, definitely not that one. The gray looks nice. I still just like the blue. So I'll stick with that. Although this one would probably look like really excellent with the setup, which is the flip side, the inky floral flip side of like the bold floral. That's like two contrasting florals. If I do go to this, I'll have to swap out the setup, which is fine, but I think I may. What do you think? The blue polka dots? The polka dots look nice, and the cup has polka dots. I'm gonna leave it as this for now, but if you think I should switch to this inky floral to start the year, just let me know in the comments. So that is the decoration. So the last thing we have left to do, quarterly goals. Oh, and the sticker page. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to split the sticker thing into another video again, but the quarterly goals. So I've got my annual goals open and we can break them down. Okay, there's not a lot of space on these quarterly goals, like I feel like it's honestly, it even feels like less space than you get in it's like the same amount of space that you get in the monthly and the A5, maybe even less. It feels like less. So these are going to be very much like quarterly focuses. So I'm going to go through each of my annual goals and just kind of go with the focus there. And I think I'm going to start with work and learning. Okay, and the Q1 focus for work and learning. So we're going to start creating the rubric right away early in the year. So I have a financial tracker, but it needs to be like more updated. It needs more components, so we'll work on that. Okay, and then maybe start organizing the files. Oh, I'm super zoomed out. Sorry about that. And then the last one is, again, just working on the time management, like procrastination stuff. So I'm just reading off my annual goals and just like kind of picking Q1 focuses. Although like my business goals for this year, I feel like are kind of like things to get some stuff set up in Q1 and then things to like live with throughout the year. So I don't think that that's necessarily going to change that much throughout the year. In the family and relationships, and get the kids settled in their new school schedule, like after school routines. We have new activities starting. We've got like a bunch of stuff with the school to help out one of my kids. So to kind of just like work through that kind of stuff as well. In the fun category, let's say more play dates and winter activities. Like mega trip planning in Q1, just kind of planning out for the rest of the year. Oh, and actually just realized, don't want to think about it, but the kids' birthdays will be in March. All right, I'm going to come back to personal. That's usually one of the last categories I set. I'm going to actually jump down to home. We're going to finish the living room. Some of this not in our control because we're waiting for furniture, but we actually, our bookshelves finally came back in stock in IKEA, so we're actually picking those up tomorrow. We can build those out, and our furniture should be here in February. I think we'll wait till Q2 for some of the other projects, but just kind of start working on the sort of like master cleaning and home maintenance list a little bit more and building up our routines a little bit better. For finances, what we have is we always have the year-end year start, as I like to call it. So just getting everything rolled over for the new year, all of our tracking stuff and all of that, you know, moving the money around that we always do at the end of the year, and then also just getting ready for taxes. I'm gonna go up to Health and Wellness. More classes, walking pad. Just like better AM, PM routine, like defining them better, and then also just honor. Okay, so on spiritual and personal goal, I'm gonna say, let's work on journaling. Really just work on my mindset. We'll just begin there. You know, just keep trying to get jump started, and, you know, kind of just keep moving through it and all of that kind of stuff. Just really just try and hit the ground running in the beginning of the year. Yeah, like I want to keep doing all of the things, but I think it kind of just boils down onto that, like the setting down deadlines and being more accountable, holding myself more accountable, all of that. Just kind of, you know, keep pulling myself up out of that funk so I feel like my best self, and I don't know, try and get everything moving a little more, both like physically, like walking and all that kind of stuff, but also just like mentally and moving through my day and going to bed on time, waking up on time, getting the day going, all of those things. And then in the personal category, I guess I'll give myself 4 there. We'll see if I need them. Okay. So I'm going to say use planner. Especially, I think, important at the beginning of the year to like kind of reestablish everything. You know, again, work on routines. Oh my gosh, I just had one and I can't remember. I want to get back to meal planning and lunch prep. I haven't really been doing a good job with that, so get back at that. And just, yeah, I don't know, make fun content. I love our spaces. All right, so that is that. So I'm gonna keep this tucked in here, and I will get that back out when I do my January goals. But so the only last thing that I still need to do in here is the vision board. This video is already going to be really, really long. I can tell from the amount of footage that I already have. So I think I'll do that separately, and I'll do that sped up with a voiceover while I answer your questions. So feel free to ask me anything about getting started for the new year, about goals, my goals, or your own questions for the goal setting process. Really ask me anything you'd like, and you can leave that down in the comments below, or I'll also post on my Instagram stories. So you can DM me there, whatever you want to do, and I will sticker my vision board, and while I'm talking over that, I will answer some goal setting questions and other questions. But yeah, that is all for today. A little planner move-in and planner setup plus some Q1 goals. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very happy new year. Don't forget to leave your questions down below, and you can check me out on Instagram and TikTok at MyCraftyPlans. Happy planning, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.